Jai Hind students, today I am again in front of you to continue with the topic gravitation. In gravitation, the topic which I have chosen today is the equations of motion during free fall. Equation of motion we have studied in the very first chapter, which is applicable for the motions in which the object is moving with uniform acceleration. So, since as we have already studied, free fall is also an example of motion in which body falls with the uniform acceleration value, and that we call acceleration due to gravity and symbolized by small g, and it is almost constant. So, during free fall, the object motion comes under the category of uniform acceleration. So, the equations of motions which we have studied for the uniform acceleration situation is equally applicable for the free fall also. So, we are going to understand today how these equations of motions are a bit rectified with new terminologies, and how do we apply this to solve questions based on free fall. And to apply these formula, these relations in solving questions, we required some common sense also. So, we will go through this common sense, common knowledge of free fall in terms of notes also. Okay. So, what is the rectification which we do for free falling object in the equations of motion, that we are going to understand. Now, the very first equation of motion which we use is V is equal to U plus AT. Okay. Now, when we take this equation of motion for free fall, slight change will be there. V is equal to U plus GT, because here the acceleration value will is replaced by the value of acceleration due to gravity, because in the during the free fall the acceleration is termed as small g, not by a. So, there is a slight change. Rest everything remains same. Even meaning is also same. Only the symbol has been changed. Similarly, if I take S is equal to ut plus half at square, where S is the value of displacement, U is the initial velocity, T is the time and acceleration. So, what is the change here? Here the displacement will be replaced by height, because height is also kind of displacement in a vertical direction. So, the displacement will be replaced by the value, by the terminology h, height, and again we will change the acceleration value a, not value, that acceleration symbol to g. So, that will become h is equal to ut plus half gt square. And the third equation of motion, that is v square minus u square equal to 2as. So, from the previous discussion, what will the new format? V square minus u square is equal to 2gh. Only the replacement of terms has been there, but all the terms remain same. Okay. So, we have formulated this equation of motion according to free fall. Okay. So, we are going to apply this equation of motion for solving different types of free falling situation. Now, for solving the different types of free falling questions, there should be some common knowledge which I have already mentioned to you. And what are those common knowledge that we are going to understand? First, I have written time of ascent is equal to time of descent. What does it mean? It means that when you throw something to the upward direction, so it will come back also. Now, whatever time has taken to go up to get maximum height, the same time it will fall down also. So, the time in which it is rising up is called time of ascent, and the time in which the object is falling down to the earth is called time of descent, and both the timing will remain same. Suppose if you have thrown an object and it comes back to your hand after 10 seconds. So, what does it mean? So, first 5 seconds is used for going up, and the next 5 seconds is used for coming down. So, that is you have to take care. So, that is only called time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Then acceleration is replaced by g, that we know. Now, when we analyze the acceleration when the object is doing upward motion, so we take minus value of g. Why minus? Because it is going against the force of gravitation. So, there we take g value in negative, and when the object comes downward, so that time the acceleration is in the direction of force, gravitational force. So, there we take positive g. Okay. So this point you have to take care while solving the question, that whether it's a upward situation or it is downward situation. H represents maximum height. Maximum height means the height till which the object has reached. Now at maximum height, the final velocity of the object will be taken 0, because then only it will get the maximum height. Now there is a difference between height and maximum height. Height can be anywhere during the motion, but maximum height means it has reached to its utmost value, and at that point the final velocity of the object will be 0. Then only it will acquire the maximum height, otherwise it will keep on moving. So at maximum height, whenever it is said, then final velocity is also always considered to be 0. Similarly, when we release some object from any height, so at that time when you are releasing, that time when the downward motion will start, in that situation the acceleration due to gravity will be positive g, that I have already mentioned, and here the initial velocity when you are releasing will be taken 0, because here you are just releasing it, so initial velocity will not be more than 0, it's at rest. So obviously in that situation we are going to take the initial velocity 0. Okay, so these are some common knowledge which you have to keep in your mind while solving the question based on equations of motion. Okay, now we are going to understand how to solve the question based on free fall with the help of these equations of motion and this common knowledge. To understand the equation of motion, we have selected one question from the NCERT, question number 13, that how to apply equation of motion to solve this question. So first we will go through the question and try to understand the information hidden into that, and on the basis of equation of motion we will try to solve it. So the question says a ball is thrown vertically upward. So what kind of motion? First of all we should gather in our mind that it is a vertically upward motion with a velocity of 49 meter per second. So the velocity by which it is being thrown is taken 49 meter per second. That is, initial velocity will be taken 49 meter per second. Now we have to calculate the maximum height to which it rises. Maximum height means obviously we have already shared this information that at maximum height the final velocity will be taken 0. So we have to gather more and more information from the question. Okay. Then second part is that total time taken to return to the surface of the earth. That in what time the ball is going up and then coming down also. And here what common knowledge is going to help you out? That time of ascent will be equal to time of descent. So if we get the value of time in which the body is acquiring maximum height, that same time will be taken by the object to fall down also. As time of ascent is equal to time of descent, that knowledge is going to help us out that whatever time we will find out for ascent, the same time we can take for returning journey also, that is time of descent. So if we calculate the time for ascent, we will get the calculated time for descent, and if we add, then we will come to know that what will the total time taken by the object to going up and coming back to the earth's surface. Okay. So I have gathered information here. U will be taken 49 meter per second because by this velocity it is being thrown in the upward direction. V will be taken 0 meter per second because we are talking about maximum height. Then G will be taken minus 9.8 meter per second square. Why it is minus 9.8? Because it is upward journey. We have already mentioned in your common knowledge section. And then finally we have to find out height and time. So for getting height, I have chosen this equation of motion because in this equation of motion, or for any equation of motion, three terminologies should be present. The value of that three members should be present, and then we can find out the value of the fourth one. So according to all the three equation of motion, this one is the most suitable because we have V, we have U, and then we have to value of G, then we have to find out the value of H. So if V square minus U square is equal to 2GH, so what formula we can derive from that? That H is equal to V square minus U square upon 2G. Now when you take the value for V, we can replace by 0 square, that 49 square for initial velocity, then 2 is the 2 and G value will be minus 9.8. Now when you solve this question, minus this 0 square will be 0. So minus 49 into 49 and then minus 2 into 9.8. Minus I have taken here. Now both the minus have been cancelled. So whatever left value is there, 49 into 49 by 2 into 9.8, Now when you are going to calculate it, from where this 10 has come, I have taken away the decimal point here. Okay, so replacing, there is one decimal part, so replacing with 10, so I have substituted 10 here. Now when we calculate, we will get 245 by 2, and then finally the height attained by the object is 122.5 meter. So this much height has been attained by the object when it is thrown with the speed of 49 meter per second. So this is one part of the question. Now what the second part is asking about time, total time. So if you get, I have said that if we calculate the time of going upward, then same will be taken time for going downward also. So for that I have taken t is equal to, as we know that v is equal to u plus gt. So we can take t is equal to v minus u by g. That is the formula. So now for v again I will take 0 minus 49 by minus 9.8. Now again minus and minus will get cancelled, and if you calculate you will get 5 seconds. But do you think it is the right complete answer? No. This time is only for rising up. But we have to take the whole time for the whole journey. That means going up and coming down also. So if going up is 5 seconds, then obviously coming down will be also 5 seconds. So that means 2 into 5. So what is the total time for going upward and coming downward also? That is total 10 seconds. 5 seconds in rising up and 5 seconds in coming down. So in this way you can apply equation of motion to solve question. Okay. Next question which I have selected is question number 17, and that is like this. A stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower 100 meter high. Suppose this is a tower which is in length, in a height 100 meter. And at the same time, so one stone, suppose B, has been released from the top of the tower. At the same time, another stone is projected vertically upward. So at the same time, suppose stone A is being projected vertically upward. So B is a category of downward motion, A is the category of upward motion. Vertically upward from the ground with a velocity of 25 meter per second. So with what velocity A has been thrown? 25 meter per second. Calculate when and where the two stones will meet. Now we have to decide during their journey, B downward journey, A upward journey, they will meet somewhere. So where they are meeting and when they are going to meet with each other. So the question is given in this way. So what is the common knowledge first of all we have to take care in our consideration? That in whatever time the B has come down, in the same time A is going up for meeting. So that means whenever they are meeting, in the same time B is covering that distance and A is covering that distance. So suppose I have taken A has covered X meter in the upward direction where they are going to meet with each other. So if the total length of the tower is 100 and the X meter has been covered by A, so what will the distance left for the stone B to be covered? That is 100 minus X. So that means suppose after time T both are covering some distance. Suppose B is covering 100 minus X and A is covering X, and they are meeting with each other within the same time. So whatever time B has taken to reach to this position, in the same time A is reaching to this position. So that you have to take care that what is key factor here. For the meeting, both has to utilize the same time. Within the same time they have to meet with each other. Okay. So now I am going to gather some information about stone A and then stone B separately. So what I have gathered for stone A, initial velocity will be taken 25 meter per second because it has been thrown with 25 meter per second. G will be minus 10 because it is going up, so it will be negative acceleration. H, that is the distance, height traveled, that is actually displacement. So how much displacement has been done for meeting? X. So I will take the height X, that is the displacement of the object. And T, the time which I have taken, suppose I have given T1, that in time T1 it has reached to this place. Just take care, again I am repeating, whatever time has been taken by A to reach this place, in the same time B is reaching to the same position. So that you have to take care. Now for stone B, again for stone B I have gathered some information. U will be taken 0 because it is being released, so initial velocity will be 0. G will be plus 10 because it's falling downward, so it will be positive acceleration. H will be, that is again the displacement of the motion. So B has displaced with this value 100 minus x. So I have taken for displacement of this stone B as 100 minus x. And time I have given a name T2, but again I am repeating that T1 and T2 both will be same, because in the same time stone A and B are covering their distances. So although I have given different name, but the value will be taken equally to each other. Okay. Now for the discussion of stone A, that how much distance has been travelled, which equation of motion I have used? This is the key formula, key factor on which I am going to find out the solution. That distance travel, displacement is equal to ut plus half gt square. So for both the stones I am going to find out the displacement of the stones, respective stones. Now for suppose I am calculating the displacement of the stone A. So for that I have taken h, that is displacement is equal to x because it has displaced by x value. Then ut1, so ut1 is, u is 25, t1 we don't know, so we can substitute by t1 only. Then half minus 10 t1 square, minus 10 because it's a negative acceleration. So finally when we solve this expression, we are going to get a relation that displacement of the stone A is equal to 25 t1 minus 5 t1 square. So suppose this relation we have got for stone A. Now coming to stone B, all the information which we have gathered with the same key formula. Now here the displacement will be taken 100 minus x because it's coming downward value of 100 minus x. So displacement will be 100 minus x. Now u t2 plus half 10 t square. So u will be 0 here because here the initial velocity will be 0. So downward journey initial velocity is 0. So I have taken 0, t2 plus 10 value I have taken for acceleration due to gravity. So 10. Now I will cancel 10 by 2. So what I will get? 5t2 square. Now we can replace x value with this value because this is only the value of x which we are getting. Now when we are taking with minus, here it is minus x. So we will have to change the sign of these two terms. So for 25t1 I have written minus 25t1. And for minus 5t square I have taken 5t1 square because the sign will be changed according to mathematical knowledge. Now when we are replacing x by this value, we are getting 100 minus 25t1 plus 5t1 square is equal to 5t2 square. This is going to be 0 because initial velocity is 0. Now here I have cancelled this term with this term. How come? Because I have already mentioned that the time taken by both the objects, both the stones will be same. So although name given t1 and t2, but their value will be equal. So obviously this term has the same value with this term. So we can, since they are on the opposite side of the equal side, so according to our mathematical knowledge, this term can be cancelled with this because they are equal value are on the opposite side of the equal to. So this part is going to be cancelled. So what is left now? Only 100 minus 25 t1, rest all part has been cancelled. So from this we can take 100 minus 25 t1 equal to 0 because this side has become 0. So for finally t1 has come, that t1 is the time taken by stone A will come 4 seconds. So obviously if somebody has what will the time taken by stone B? 4 seconds only because in the same time they both are meeting with each other. So this is the way in which we can find out when they are going to meet. So they are going to meet after 4 seconds of their journey. This journey also, for stone A also 4 seconds is the time for journey, and for stone B also the time for journey is 4 seconds. Now the another part of the question is where the two stones will meet. So for where you can locate the position either from the earth or from the top. So I have taken x, that means I want to show the meeting point with respect to earth. So for getting x, I have just taken again use this expression. Now I know the value of time. So 25 into t1, that is 25 into 4 minus 4 into t1 square, that is 4 square. So 100, and this will give the 80. 100 minus 80, 20 meter. So that means from the ground stone A has traveled 20 meter and there they are going to meet. If somebody asks how much distance has been traveled by stone B, so obviously if A has traveled 20, then B has traveled 80 meter from the top. So with respect to any, either from top or earth, you can locate the position, you can locate the meeting point of these two stones. 20 meter above from the ground or 80 meter down from the top of the tower. So in this way we can use this key formula for solving these equations of motion. So now you try to solve more and more questions from the exercise or anywhere and enjoy the formula of equations of motion in case of free fall. Thank you and have a nice time.